Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Friday, June 20th. They now call it the day after Juneteenth, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting from the United States of America. I could prove it because the entire Trump administration is working for Americans. It's also the place for the brave. Like the veterans we salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and his great companies. Dominic Amendola, Hanover Township. Edward Crawford, Hanover Township. Harry Cook, Scranton. Vincent Narkunis, Troop. John Griesling, Bloomsburg. And Joseph LaMonica, Danville. Veterans we lost this year, but celebrate today. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our incredible founding fathers, that the government is not, shall not be, cannot be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things, but is nothing more than a necessary evil we require to protect an organized society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. It was not something that could be parceled out to groups. It was not something that could be controlled by government or government officials. Our great American Constitution, well, it ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press. Now, if they use it to lie for the Democrats and the left-wing lunatics, so be it. We know better now. Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because we had them, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. Ever. Nothing even comes close. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose. Unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed. Unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. Yeah, this Bob Cordaro Show, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so, with that essential preamble dispensed with, we can gavel to order this meeting, today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you a sanctuary of sanity in a world where there's insane people out there that don't get it. And we remind you, even though you're part of our very large, very growing dysfunctional family, we will not suffer fools gladly. This is not a safe harbor for stupidity. It just isn't. And it's not because we don't love you, lefties. It's because we don't have the time for nonsense. I've only got 3 hours a day, and there's commercials in there and other things we have to do. And so, please, just like that young lady we just played, try to listen, would you? Just try to get it. Stop being silly. Stop being Kamala Harris supporters. You could hate Trump, I get it. He welcomes it in many instances. I happen to think he's one of the best comedians ever. But his policies and the job he is doing, the results he will obtain and has obtained are incredible. He turned around this country so quickly from the sheer madness of the Biden administration and the Democrat left. It's astonishing. And the thing he's got to worry about is you do such a good job and the lunatics say, well, let's go back to being children again, where we get everything. Everything's great. Everything's hunky-dory. We don't have to do Doge. We could waste trillions of dollars. We could let anybody into the country. I mean, think about this. The entire left, it's a bunch of children. They're children. No, but we want our cookies and milk when we want them. Nobody's saying, no, you can't. Well, somebody's got to take away the punch bowl. And it's Donald Trump. Someone's got to point out the idiocy. The emperor's wearing no clothes. And it's the conservatives and Donald Trump. So yesterday, Juneteenth, I mean, I'm not against a holiday. It doesn't make sense, but it's fine. It doesn't coincide really with anything if you look up the actual history. But good. If but see, they don't even specify, well, what are we celebrating? Because the Emancipation Proclamation, there was a preliminary in 1862 and then another one in 1863, the final, I guess. Is that what we're celebrating? I don't know. No. By the way, take 99.75% of the public and ask them, well, what's Juneteenth? They don't know. And yet it's a national holiday. And now this company, we're a woke company. We are. It's what it is. We don't get Veterans Day off, which, by the way, by me is fine because I want to do Veterans Day tributes. But and a Veterans Day special. But I mean, that's what they give you. You know what I mean? It's so silly or not, fine. But I wish they would define it so that we could all celebrate it with a unified theme. Like everybody knows what the 4th of July is. Well, I shouldn't say that. Anyone with a brain knows what 4th of July celebration is about, our independence. We know what Veterans Day is about. We know what Memorial Day is about. We know what Labor Day is all about. Just tell us what Juneteenth is all about. I'm guessing it's the emancipation of the slaves, which is a huge day in a huge struggle because it didn't happen in a day. The Democrats had immediately put in Jim Crow laws to prevent voting, holding jobs, owning property, all that. So it was a decades-long struggle. We had structural racism in this country until fairly recently, 70s, 80s. And now, by the way, they'll never tell you that it ended structural racism, but it did. And now everybody's got a fair shot. Whether you want to hear that or not, that's the fact. We're not all starting off, obviously, at the same starting line. And I'm talking about all kinds of people. This is more economic than it is racial, frankly. Remember the fact. A majority of blacks are not poor. A majority of poor are not black. You would not know that by our media and our idiocy in the governing classes and education and all that. So anyway, quickly, we have this little group called the Club for Common Sense. And one of the executive producers, Mr. Paul, he claimed I got this great Camp Freedom T-shirt from Timmy Mack, and I mean I love Camp Freedom. You guys all know about that amazing facility just north of Carbondale. A couple thousand acres devoted to the experiential recovery of our soldiers, our first responders, Gold Star family members, and it's one of the best places on the planet. And so I proudly wore the XXL shirt that I was provided earlier in the week. And some people said I couldn't wear an XL at my 239 or whatever, 40 pounds. And apparently I can. Apparently I can. So, that if you're watching on the live stream, WILKnewsradio.com, you press watch, you see it. If you're on your phone, you've got to go to the left. There's like a bar. You press that, and then the options come, and one of them is watch. You press that, and you could watch my smiling or scowling moon face as the program unfolds. Last night, yesterday, so we, Chauncey and I had a very, very lazy day for the Juneteenth holiday. Well, then the neighbor next door, the good doctor, he feeds Chauncey this. He has snacks in his back car, in the back of his Jeep for Chauncey. So I just literally just open the door to stick my arm out to get them, see if the mail's there. Forgetting it's Juneteenth, there will be no mail. So the hopelessness of this situation is compounded. And Chauncey sees the neighbor getting out of his car. And, beeline, charges past me, does a beeline to the neighbor to get his pepperoni or whatever treat the guy has. And I have to go chase him, and the door closes behind, and we're locked out of the house. So aggravation ensues, and I want to kill Chauncey. So he's getting his snack, and I got to bring him back, and all this other, and now we're locked out. So I'm locked out. I was getting the car detailed. Our friend Billy Gentile was detailing Big Lou, and did a fabulous job, by the way. And so we do this. I'm locked out. I'm waiting for Billy to come, and then I realize it doesn't matter when Billy comes because I took the house key off of the, you know how your car just has these things anymore, these little things you hold that'll open and unlock and do whatever. Well, now I realize even when he comes, I can't get in the house. So the neighbor who feeds Chauncey, he calls Cutie. She doesn't answer. He calls her again. She doesn't answer to say, I'm locked out of the house. Now, I was in the middle of a workout, and so I'm sweaty. Now I'm in bare feet, and you know how soft your feet get. You touch a rock, and you'd think that you'd been assassinated. And so I'm walking around in bare feet with this idiot Chauncey, and then I finally say, okay, that's it. We're going to just sit down. And we're going to sit on the stoop for however long it takes. And 7 o'clock is the show, the Ark show of Willy Wonka. And so I'm like, I gotta get in and take a shower. Well, Cutie finally comes, and now it's like 10 to 7, 5 to 7. I got to take a shower. I got to go. We can't go to the show. Well, I'm in the shower, and I go, you know what? I have to see these young people that we had on Monday. I've got to see them perform. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. And so we go down to Lackawanna College. We're late. I understood, and I go, if I see half of it, if I see 20 minutes of it, I'll be ecstatic. And I was. And they were fabulous. It was the most beautiful the Ark put on last night. And so much credit to the people that work there. And like Jerry Featherby that works with them as volunteer. So much credit. It was the most beautiful stage performance I have ever seen. These young people, they're so happy. So, it was, if you remember from the Scrooge, the movie Scrooge with Bill Murray, And the cabbie tells him, Niagara Falls, Niagara Falls. It was so beautiful. I was tearing during the entire show and after until I left. And I told Cutie, I said, I'm emotionally exhausted. Well, where do you go when you're emotionally exhausted? Well, we went down to the bar at Atera, which I love. And Cutie ate. I can't eat late. And she ate. Everything looked fabulous. We saw a lot of great people, had a lot of great drinks, and not a lot, but a few. And then went home. So it was a great day yesterday. But I'm telling you, the highlight of the day was watching Ark, and they announced they're going to do Little Mermaid next year. So we'll God willing, we'll be around to talk about that because wow, and by the way, huge crowd, and I'm not taking much credit for that because we also had them on KRZ and Froggy to promote the event. And yesterday, for Juneteenth, we replayed that hour when I had the kids from the Ark, the people from the Ark, in the studio here, figuring, let's give them another bump. But, well, it was fabulous. It was extremely well attended, and it was just one of those things that renews your faith that there's greatness and goodness in the world. Let's take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. Our veterans today, brought to you by John Basiliga. And the company of his we're going to feature today is Basiliga Hospitality because the weekend is here. You go to the Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook, Far Street Tavern, on Far Street, Trips Park section of West Scranton. You go to a Terra 519 like I did last night, downtown Scranton on Linden Street. Sergey's right underneath the nightclub. Queen City Tavern, Main Drag, Oliphant, redone. Wait till you see it. And the Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre, Franklin Street. One of the best dining experiences you will ever have. You think you're in Newport. And the Scranton Art House. Watch a full-run new movie while having your favorite cocktail and your favorite food. Scranton Art House. Edward Crawford. He was but 78 when we lost him May 6th. He was from Hanover Township. Born in Wilkes-Barre. And after graduating high school, he enlisted in the U.S. Air Force, where he proudly served us from 1965 to 1969. After discharge, Edward worked for the King Fifth Wheel for 39 years. He loved to collect knives and go into different restaurants, family-oriented all the way. Surviving to cherish Edward's memory, a great legacy. His loyal wife, Margaret Peg, former Peg Hall Crawford, his 2 daughters, his 8 grandchildren, his 6 great-grandchildren, with a soon-to-be-born great-grandson as well as other family members. Edward Crawford. Dominic Amendola. He was 93 when we lost him May 15th. He was from Hanover Township as well. Born in Hanover Township. 1950 graduate of Hanover Township High School. He proudly served us in the U.S. Army during the Korean War. His obituary picture is in uniform. He was employed for many years at Okanite Cable Company, New Brunswick, New Jersey. Knowledgeable sports fan. Preceded in death by his wife, Dorothy Sienkiewicz Amendola, in 2003. And by other families, including brothers and sisters. He's survived by his children, 3 of them, 2 daughters and a son. His grandsons, 3 of them. And a great-granddaughter. Nieces, nephews, great-nieces, great-great-nieces and nephews. Dominic Amendola. Our great veterans this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. The weekend means Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Anthony Bordenero. Today, partly cloudy, high 82. Is that the first pure weather forecast we've gotten in the entire spring? Tonight, clouds, low 64. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 88. That's it. Sunday, mostly sunny, 93. Monday, sunny, high 96. Nothing about rain. Nothing about rain. How nice is that? Ginny says, hey, Bob, just thought about the T-shirt. How about we form a club? We have a club, Ginny. She wants to sing old farts for Bob. We're coming up with T-shirts, by the way. It's a long-delayed project. We're going to come up with Club for Common Sense T-shirts and some other good things. Somebody, and that's why I love when you guys text me, because I learned so much from you. That's why when you guys say LTS, love the show, or ALTS, always love the show, I always say LTS or ALTS back at you, because you guys, I learn from you every time we get together, and I love it. Somebody says, supposedly Juneteenth is the celebration of the last slaves being told they were free in Galveston, Texas. They had to send the troops in because the Democrats would not allow the freeing of slaves. And 1868 is the year, I believe. You said 2 years after the end of the Civil War. Now, my research said it was on the 15th, but our listener says it's unknown if it was on the 16th, 17th, 18th, or 19th, so they chose the 19th for the holiday and named it as such. All right, I'm in. What do we? And so let's make it clear what it is and why. That is a red letter day in the United States, a banner day in moving towards greatness. You don't always achieve it. In some aspects, we don't. Even today, because human beings are human beings. It's not because we're bad people. Oh, yeah, the bull spitters. You ask these Democrat idiots, because they will not face reality that their policies are disgusting. They won't, and that they don't work. They won't face the reality. I saw some panel, someone had sent it to me, and said, well, how many believe that Kamala lost because of misogyny and racism? And every Democrat raised their hands on this panel, and then they all raised their hands in the audience. What a bunch of jackasses. You can't be, it's hard to believe they're that stupid, that brainwashed. No, she lost because she sucked and because Biden and the Democrat policies suck. They don't work. But see, they don't want to face that fact. And they're saying this after there are women in all levels of electoral politics and the administration doing incredible jobs. It had nothing to do with her being a woman. It had to do with her being an airhead, a dummy, someone who never accomplished anything in her life. Quite amazing. I don't know if I have time to go through the list. Somebody said, tell your listeners specifically which policies are disgusting and stupid. Cite current examples. Well, let's talk about gender bending. Let's talk about this insanity. Let's talk about women in or men in women's sports, locker rooms, and bathrooms. Let's talk about gender-affirming care. Gender-affirming care. Mutilating children. Mutilating children who have gender dysphoria. Let's talk about the open border. Let's talk about funding Iran, allowing Iran to become wealthy to try to allow it to try to destroy the Middle East. Let's talk about allowing China to poison our children and almost attain dominance over our country because our idiot president and his administration were weak and stupid. I could go through more. They didn't do anything right. So the list would be 3 hours long. Insanity. Absolute insanity. All right, we've got a troll. How does trans care affect you personally? Not at all. But doing it to children is criminal. Criminal. Mutilation of children with surgery or pharmacology is criminal. Trans people don't frighten me. They're great. Who cares? But it's an adult decision, not a sick, twisted children's decision. Or a decision that's made by adults for poor children. Insane. Insanity. So shut up, troll. You're making a fool of yourself. Anyway, let's go quickly We got our man Matt Geddes on. He's from Camp Freedom. He's the man up there. I am so proudly wearing the shirt. I couldn't come to the dinner because of something right before it, and I end up just going to a restaurant. But I heard the dinner was fantastic. I saw pictures of it, and then Timmy Mack brought me back shirts, and I've proudly fit into an XL today. I wore the XXL the other day on the show.
Well, and I'm calling with great words of affirmation right now. Don't mean to break into your incredible monologue, but I think the XL is perfect. And you're doing it. You're rocking it. You're rocking it.
And I got a lot of abuse from some cat callers that said I couldn't. And I said, okay, if I look like a pig in a glad bag when I put it on, fine. I will wear it either way.
Well, here's what you got to know. The best dressed man in all of Scranton is Timmy Mack. Period.
Oh, yes,
always pressed, always perfect, always. And he says the XL looks better. So I would run to the bank with that.
Hey, you had a great dinner. We gotta have you. And I know you got so many things going on, but you have to call in regularly to let us know what is happening at Camp Freedom, because I love that place, man.
Yeah, and I'm going to get it on the agenda. I just need to do it. You know I'm running a million miles an hour, but, man, I just need to make time to do it. You're great. Your show's great. Your listeners are great, and they need to know what's going on.
And you're healing people one at a time. It's now in the thousands and thousands of clients served at Camp Freedom. Between Gold Star families and first responders and our former military. It's just incredible.
Yeah. We're over 13,000 guests from 47 states. Lives are being rescued. But sometime I want to come on and talk with you about the coolest thing we did. We worked for 2 years and 3 months long to get the name Gold Shield Family in a resolution in Congress. And it happened about a month ago. Congressman Muser took it to the fight for us, and we got it done. And so now, like Gold Star families, where that service member passed away in service, they get all kinds of support and help. Our Gold Shield families, which is the remaining family members of first responders, they had nothing. There was no long-term support. There were no long-term solutions. So we got the name. It's passed unanimously in Congress. So the name's recognized now.
Nice.
Now we gotta build the support behind it.
Well, Matt Geddes, Camp Freedom is, I said just like last night, watching the young people from the Ark perform Willy Wonka. There's as much beauty in Camp Freedom and your mission as that event last night. It's can't say enough about it.
Well, thank you, sir. I just wanted to let you know the XL. You got it. You got it.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt Geddes, Camp Freedom. We're going to take a quick break. We've got the president of the Abington Rotary Club on the other side because their fireworks are coming up. Let's not forget. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Now, Ricky Nelson, this date, 1962, he released his hit Teenage Idol. But what about, what's the song where he's got a girl in every port? We got to make up your mind. Well, the Abington Rotary Club is going to have its annual fireworks display. And president of the Rotary Club, Stephen Sillage, is with us to talk about that. Stephen, welcome back. How are you?
Hi, Bob. How are you?
Your preparations must be getting to a fever pitch at this point.
Oh, you have no idea.
I have some idea, but yeah. You never do unless you're right in the soup, right?
Well, that's it. And there's a lot of changes to the site this year because the normal site that we're doing it, they're having construction. So we have to, move a few things around, parking pattern changes, that kind of a thing. But otherwise it'll go off smoothly.
So you've got tons of food vendors there. It's that beautiful setting where you could bring your blanket, lay out on the lawn, bring your beverages, whatever, and just enjoy the fireworks overhead. Tell us the date and the time and the location.
They are going to kick off July 3rd. The doors open at 5 o'clock. Fireworks usually sometime around 9:30. It's right about dusk. So parking's $10 a vehicle. As I said, there's going to be sort of an alternate parking pattern with some of the construction going on around, but we're going to be directing all that. We're going to have security kind of directing parents for pickup, normal places to do that. So.
You've been doing it for how many years now, this great Abington Rotary?
It's over 40. It's quite a few years.
It's so many, nobody remembers how many, right?
Nobody remembers. We have to go back into the archives. It really is a big draw for a lot of people in the area. And we see people that we never see otherwise except for the fireworks, which is really great.
It is like, I remember going there, it's like old home week for so many people.
Yeah. I think a lot of kids, because they're just out of school for a few weeks and then they kind of are all there gathering at the fireworks. They see a lot of friends that maybe they were missing over the summer, that sort of a thing. So that's kind of neat to see too.
Yeah. All right. So the 3rd at what time again? We'll repeat it again for everybody.
5 o'clock, doors open. The fireworks will start at just about 9:30.
Beautiful. Well, don't hesitate. You could call in again. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you could call in every week. We want to keep reminding people of this great event and all the work you great Rotarians do. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Bob.
All right, Stephen Seelig. Thank you. They really do, and it is one of the better displays. If you're a fireworks person, you're going to love it because they seemingly, are bursting right over your head. And you're comfortable on the grass. If they get the right weather, it's going to be good stuff. Hey, let's go to Andrew in Jersey. Andrew, how are you, man?
Hey, Bob. Pretty good. Just want to say, with the loony left, if you heard Whoopi Goldberg's comments, that she compares the United States and its evil to Iran, which is ridiculous, which they actually have Sharia law, and there's no charges of murder.
There's a real insanity to people like her. There's just no concept of fact, truth, or reality. They're just divorced from it all. And she's the one how hard she has to work. You do a 1-hour television show. You'll do a piece in a movie now and then. Yeah, you're talented, and she is in many ways, surprisingly. But you're just not qualified to comment on society because you're an idiot.
Right. It's irrational the way she thinks. And the difference, too, is they kill without murder laws. So when they kill LGBTQ, there's no law against it. It's part of the culture. They kill women who they think are not following Sharia law. And also the man who was murdered in Georgia, the black man, the murderers were charged with murder and convicted. Plus, the crimes are the opposite. It's more black on white violence, which is largely due to Democrats, failed policies, and also with history of lynching. She's talking that was the Democrats' Ku Klux Klan. Plus, they all support
and
Margaret
the largest
Sanger
mass lynching in the country was against Italian Americans.
Right, in New Orleans.
Nobody wants to hear that. But and by the way, in the process of this, if she wants to talk Democrat Party, Democrats slaughtered 300 blacks who were defending a Republican elected representative whom they also killed. I mean, yeah, the Democrat Party's got a sad history.
Margaret Sanger started Planned Parenthood because there were anti-lynching laws, so it was a way to kill blacks who she wanted to exterminate. So ironically, they support Planned Parenthood, yet it was created to actually exterminate the black race.
Yeah, unreal. If the left had any sense, any sense of self-awareness, any grip on reality and truth and fact, they'd become conservative. It's just what it is. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it, my man. Yeah. And this irresponsible idiocy, it's on the Disney-owned ABC. And she actually said it. She got some pushback, which was shocking, from her fellow panelists on The View. But she actually said, "Oh yeah, it's worse. It's as bad for blacks here as it is for people in Iran." Yep. Dave Clark 5, this date, 1964. Moving up the charts with their hit, Can't You See That She's Mine? Where Murph finds these songs. That's not a bad one, by the way. Murph finds this stuff, and we dutifully play it. So it's funny. We have on this program on the text, and I wish they would call because then we could shut them down quickly. We've got left-wing trolls. And so I've got one particular troll today. And this person I can guarantee you, will never stray from their left-wing lunacy. They just won't. Here's one of the texts. How is black-on-white crime due to Democrat policies? Well, releasing people into and not punishing people, George Soros DAs, not supporting our cops, defund the police. The concentration of crime in left-wing cities is incredible because they'll usually have an insane left-wing Democrat mayor, an insane left-wing Democrat district attorney. And that's game, set, and match as far as crime is concerned. So and see, if you don't see that, I can't even help you. Oh, and then they follow up with this. Yes, Disney, those frightening liberals, which they are, they're frightening left-wingers. They're lunatics. Who says they're upholding and promoting family values lately? Who says that? Nobody. Nobody with any sense or wit. That's just unbelievable. So yeah, we get these trolls. I enjoy them because when we have time to point out how ridiculous they are. Remember, this is not a safe harbor for stupidity. So your left-wing stupidity, we can't indulge it fully here because we don't have the time. Because just for example, it's news time. And Brian Hughes has the news. Let's let him do it. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. We'll be back. right, good morning, everyone. Ricardo Jewelers, your Breitling watch store. Time is 10:11 here in the great Northeast. This beautiful Friday, June 20th, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I'm he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man John Basiliga and his fleet of restaurants, movie houses, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we lost this year, but celebrate today, like Dominic Amendola, Hanover Township, Edward Crawford, Hanover Township, Vincent Narkunis, Troop, Harry Cook, Scranton, Joseph LaMonica, Danville, and John Greising, Bloomsburg. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you a sanctuary of sanity for the balance of the morning, and in a real, and we have these, we have these trolls. There's one particular one today. And they'll just keep coming with the jab and the jib and the jab and the blah, blah, blah. It's quite frightening. And nothing that the left does has worked. Let's do it that way. Tell me something the Biden administration did that worked. Okay, so there's your assignment, troll. Tell me something that worked in the Biden administration. That the Democrat, give me one Democrat policy of today. Does that go back 50 years? Today's Democrat Party, one policy that makes any sense. And I'll give you credit if there's a partial credit to be given. We'll see. So there's your assignment, troll. I'm ignoring you otherwise because you're just... You sound like a stupid lunatic texting me. I won't even read the text. It's just like, it's the usual trope and blah. Calling my show hate speech. Like, I point out to you again, just because you hate it, which a true leftist hates truth, fact, and reality, just because you hate it doesn't mean it's hate speech. Let's go quickly. Mother Teresa, St. Teresa. She said, our lives have to continuously feed on the Eucharist. If we were not able to see Christ under the appearance of bread, neither would it be possible for us to discover him under the humble appearances of the bruised bodies of the poor. Amazing. St. Teresa, Mother Teresa for today. Thank you, Mary Regina. Let's go to Carol. I was talking to her on the phone during the news. And there's a traffic issue in West Pittston. Tell us what's happening, my darling.
Hi, it's not West Pittston. It's on the back road. I guess it's called Slocum Ave.
Okay.
But there's a bunch of turns, and instead of them having their signs like a couple 100 feet apart, they've got them right one after the other, maybe 50 feet apart, and then the guy with the flag. So you come around the corner, and all of a sudden you see this. I tried to tell the guy that he needed to back them up for safety's sake, put them further apart, and he just looked at me like I was stupid. So I just thought I'd let everybody know.
And where's this in Slope?
People out here that are not.
Yeah.
They're not. They don't take their own life very seriously, or they would have further spaces between their signs before you had to stop, so that you actually got a warning.
What's it called? Slocum? What? Slocum?
We think it's Slocum Avenue, but it's the back road between West Pittston and Luzerne.
All right. Let's hope that's enough of a descriptive for drivers in that area. Thank you, Carol. We appreciate it. And you were patient with us.
Show. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Carol. And it's even better because you're listening to it and participating. See how that works?
Oh, yeah. I participate often. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate it. All right. You know, I do this with trepidation each and every time. And I'm ready for it. I hope you are. He's got his own theme song. Well, yes, it is. It's Frank from Wilkes-Barre. Hi, Frank. How are you, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. What do you got today, Frank?
You said we should become conservative, the
Yes.
Democrats, if they
Yeah.
had any brain.
Yes.
Yeah. How could you have brains and vote for a man that was
Let's
raped a
get past
lady?
your Trump derangement syndrome. Give me a policy. Let's get past your Trump derangement syndrome. I feel for you. I hope you can get treatment for it. But tell me one Democrat policy of today.
Economy was the greatest.
Tell me,
Economy.
all right, what policy made the economy the greatest? Other than spending,
Biden's policy.
other than spending trillions of dollars we didn't have and artificially
What's Donald Trump doing now?
inflating
What's
the
Donald Trump
economy.
doing now?
Wait, again, you got to get past the Trump derangement syndrome. You got to get past it, Frank, just so we can have a discussion. Please.
You love Donald Trump?
Give me the
I
policy.
did. I gave you one.
No, you didn't tell me what he did to have this great economy. I told you what he did. He wildly overspent so that the economy was artificially stimulated. That's what he did.
That's your theory. That's the economy.
No, this is the reality.
No.
This is the truth of the Biden economy. It was all government overspending.
No, it wasn't. Even the newspapers said it wasn't.
What newspaper?
You make things up as you go along.
Frank,
Bob, okay.
give me
you
one
call
more
me all
policy.
kind of names.
Give me
I
one
guess
more
all
policy.
All your sponsors would call me the same thing. That Campus Julie thinks I'm an idiot. That's why they're paying money for you to say that, ain't it?
Frank,
What are they doing?
Frank, don't get into personal grievances. Give me one Democrat policy.
I
We have
did. Give me
I'm
one
trying
that
to have
Trump did.
What was it? All right, what did Biden do? Specifically, what did he do to make? Oh, you don't know what he did. I understand. Yeah.
What he did. You know it was great, right?
I just explained what he did to make the economy keep going. But because it was artificial, because it was artificially created and pumped up by massive government overspending, because of that fact, we also had the worst inflation in 60 years.
That was before he got elected.
No, it wasn't.
It was coming down.
No. Biden lied repeatedly that it came before he was elected. The inflation rate was 1.4% when he took office.
Sure, that was the virus. Coronavirus got it down.
No, it didn't. That was the inflation rate during virtually the entire Trump presidency.
Yeah, sure. You got something to hang your hat on.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's plenty to hang our hats on. Good policy. Deregulation, allowing American energy to flourish.
I don't know what you are.
Yeah. Frank, you're Catholic. Frank, you're Catholic.
Yes, I am.
So you support abortion all the way up to and including birth.
I told you I don't support it. I support a woman's right to make a judgment. If that's so bad that I thought
well, then you're not. Then you're against the Catholic Church. You brought up the Catholic Church. I didn't, and you're against the Catholic Church. You're against the Catholic Church on that issue.
I don't believe in it. Biden don't believe
you don't believe in it, but you believe everybody can do it.
They believe they give the woman a right to choose.
Well, Jackie Gleason said it, Frank. You gotta go. Johnny Rivers. Murph tells us this date, 1964, he performed his hit Memphis on American Bandstand. Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. And, of course, we had our history, Seward's folly, but it was far from, wasn't it? President Andrew Johnson announcing the purchase of Alaska from the Russian government this date, 1867. And what a boon it was for us. If we could keep Alaska out of Democrat hands, it could continue to be a great state. Body shop guy says, thought I would hear, I think you need a bigger boat. All right, Bulldog. If Body Shop guy says it, we got to look that up. The Jaws. What Jaws premiered, I guess, on this date in whatever year. So we'll all right, Bulldog, are you on that? Are you looking that up for Body Shop guy? He's not acknowledging me. Bulldog. Oh, he said, okay, he's looking it up. We're going to need a bigger boat. All right, let's go to TJ from Wilkes-Barre. TJ, how are you, man?
Hey, Bob, what's going on, buddy?
Everything's great.
Good. I got an event this coming Wednesday, the 25th at 6 at the Wilkes-Barre Township Fire Hall, inviting the people running that from the Republican side, of course, Council, Tom Mosca, and Walter Griffith. Get them out there, and a lot of people, because it was, you know how the primaries are. We always fight in the primaries. They have hurt feelings, and then the two sides go apart and they don't unite. Well, this meeting's about what are you going to do in the next 4 years if we elect you, and try to get people to be inspired to work with each other, because the Democrats are having their rallies, and at each rally they're making sure they're getting out the vote. So hopefully they can answer some questions, get some stuff out that people aren't happy with on the last 4 to 8 years at council, and say what they're going to do, and just kind of rally the troops, and hopefully we make a difference.
And that's next Wednesday at what time? At the
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Wilkes-Barre Township Fire Hall. That's great.
Yeah.
I love that you guys do these things. It's so important to keep people engaged, especially Republicans, because the conservative mind doesn't turn to government for solutions to everything or involvement in everything. So that's not what they think of immediately. That's how Democrats gain control with loony ideas.
Well, in county politics, when it gets to a local level, it gets real personal. And people get their feelings hurt, and then people go, well, I'm not going to vote because my brother was running, and they said this about them, and they said that about them. And we have a big problem. And I think this is a way to solve it. Is this meeting maybe a little,
begin the process, a little rapprochement. Yep.
Yes. But if we get it out in the open and we have communication and we can sit there and shake each other's head, maybe by November we'll have a few more of these. Maybe we could get a few more volunteers for them to door knock and put the thing in. So, I think this meeting's going to be a little rough, but it's needed.
Nothing wrong with a little battling, Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. So that's, hopefully we could get to air out our grievances and then say, hey, what are you going to do for the county? Are we going to get paper ballots? Are you going to make sure that ICE is in the county? What are you going to do? Work with the state level, with the federal levels? Well, how are you going to make our county safe? How are you going to make our elections? What is your platform? Why should we come out and volunteer for you? Mm-hmm. Why should we come out and vote for you and inspire us to do that? That's what I try to do. That's what I try. Now, that doesn't mean that I disagree with them, and I'll fight with them in a heartbeat. But at the end of the day, give us a reason to rally around you.
Amen. Well, thank you. Next Wednesday, Wilkes-Barre Township Fire Hall. Remind us next week, too, would you, TJ?
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you.
Love that. Grassroots working for the good of the county now. That's important. Hey, as I look at the clock, the Picardo Jewelers, your watch store, they feature Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, and Swiss Army. Well, the time is 10:30. We're going to take a break and be back with our Veterans Tribute after we hear from our great sponsors, a little weather, and then you at 570-883-0098. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by John Basiliga. And the company we focus on as the weekend approaches is Basiliga Hospitality. Their properties include the Old Brook Inn, Route 307, Springbrook Township. Fabulous. I could say that about all of them. Far Street Tavern, the Trips Park section of West Scranton, the Scranton Art House, your place to watch a movie. An event space extraordinaire. Atera 519. Cutie and I were there last night. Just great as ever. Sergei's Live, the nightclub, right underneath Atera. Stegmeyer Mansion. Go back to another era. Fine dining like you've never experienced it. The Stegmeyer Mansion in Wilkes-Barre. And the Queen City Tavern. Reopened, reimagined, and downtown Oliphant will never be the same. Vincent Narkunis. His family says, a true American, a Vietnam hero. He climbed the stairway to heaven on May 10th. Recipient of 2 Purple Hearts and many other prestigious awards, he fought a courageous battle against the effects of Agent Orange. He was 76 when he passed away that date. He was from Oliphant, passed away in Scranton, but he was from Troop. Survived by his wife, Joan. They were married for 53 years. Gentle, kind, giving man. Loved to make people laugh. He served as vice president of the Federation of Metal Detectors and Archaeologists. Member of the great Shoppa Davy VFW Peckville and the great Raymond Henry American Legion Post. He was a volunteer photographer. Did it for WVIA, Wilkes-Barre Air Show. Eucharistic minister at Cathedral of St. Peter. Survived by his loving wife of 53 years, Joan, brothers, a niece, and many other family members. Because of Vince's giving nature, he would like you to perform a random act of kindness or make a donation to your favorite charity remembering him. Vincent Narkunis. Harry Cook. We lost him May 11th. He was from Scranton. His family says on Sunday, May 11th, 2025, Harry Carl Cook had somewhere to be. In true romantic fashion, Harry spent his 67th wedding anniversary with his wife, the late Arline Frankfelker Cook, together in paradise. He was 85. 1958, graduate of West Scranton High School. He was married in 1963, and together Harry and Arline raised 3 children, Pamela, Scott, and Todd. Lifelong member of the Jackson Street Baptist Church. Pennsylvania National Guard, 63 to 69. Scoutmaster for the Boy Scout Troop 4 of West Scranton, where he watched his sons and many other young men attain the rank of Eagle Scout. He worked in his own shop as a beautician for many years, and then he was employed at Gress Farms, a carpenter for Contemporary Homes. He was also a past chancellor, commander of the Knights of Pythias. He was an avid camper, and from his brain sprung many useful Harry Cook inventions, most recently a rolling board for perfectly uniform Welsh cookies, a Cook family favorite. He was preceded in death by his loving wife, Arline. Leaves behind his daughter, 2 sons, 6 grandchildren, and many other family members. Harry Cook. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and the amazing properties of Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Anthony Bordenaro. Today, partly cloudy, 82. Tonight, clouds, 64. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 88. Sunday, mostly sunny, high 93. Monday, sunny, high 96. Do you notice anything in there? Yeah, no mention of rain. How about that? All right, let's go to the blower. We got Bob from Mountaintop. How are you, Bob?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm coming back from oral surgery up at GCMC.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. My battery's dying on the phone. It's about the stench from the signs, Bob. The Biden signs.
I know.
There's 3 of them going up 81. And then you get a story sign. A story sign going down the expressway. Bob, do something about it. I contacted Pugh, Marty Flynn, Shapiro, the governor. Get the signs down, Bob. If I got to get treatment up there, I don't want to smell them.
Bob, now
right?
I do this, and it's a bit therapeutic, although I want the signs down. I give the finger to the signs, and I feel better, just slightly.
What do? You drop your visor. You're driving in your car from work, and you're dropping the visor down to keep the signs out of your face, aren't you?
I know.
Say it.
It's an embarrassment to the whole, for us, to the whole world.
Bob, the stench is already up here in Mountaintop from those signs, Bob.
I know. Well, listen, take care of your mouth now, would you please?
Yeah, I'm healing. I'm going through surgery. I'm 74. I'm getting stuff fixed. I'll talk to you later about it because my battery is dying on the damn phone.
All right, my friend. But you made your point. You made your point, and I love it. Thank you.
The stench, Bob. It's the stench.
Thank you, Bob. Get better. We got to get those signs down. I mean, it just shows. It shows us to be awkward idiots. Like, we're proud of Joe Biden. His wife's not proud of him. He's not only a blathering idiot to start with, he then lost most of what was left of his marbles while in office and prior to obtaining office. They covered it up. He was checked out for meeting after meeting after meeting. Unreal. So when I think about Biden, I want to think about something great, and that was the Archangels on stage last night at Lackawanna College in their great theater. And it's Jerry Featherby, one of the people who helped put that together, is with us. Jerry, it was fabulous. It was heartwarming. It was uplifting. It was, as I told the audience last hour, the most beautiful, and I seldom say but the most beautiful stage performance I'd ever seen.
Wow, those are big words. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you so much for coming.
It was great.
It was so much fun. They had a ball. They look forward to this experience all year long.
Yeah.
And now that they know Little Mermaid is next year, I already received texts from numerous stars saying they're getting the songs together. They know what part they want to audition for. It's wonderful. It gives them so much dignity and purpose.
It was that event, and it was so well attended, and the crowd and many of them parents and relatives, they were so much into it. And then how about when that beautiful lady introduced her parents and congratulated them on their what was her 53rd or 56th anniversary? It was just it was overwhelming.
Wedding anniversary.
Overwhelming.
How sweet was that? What a great way to spend an anniversary, right?
Yeah.
With their only daughter, right on stage.
I was overwhelmed the whole performance, and it was just indescribable. Indescribable.
Well, Bobby, I wish I had asked how many here were listening to the Bob Cordaro Show and attended because of that. There were so many people who were there for the first time. I couldn't believe. I took photos from the stage. I took photos of the audience raising their hand. It was magnanimous.
And by the way, great credit also to Lissa from KRZ and
Yes,
Doc from Froggy. And just like I told all of you when you were in the studio here, I said, you've reached 70%, over 70% of the people listening to the radio with these three shows. So that was
amazing.
And so important. I'm telling you, if anybody who went will never miss it if they can help. They'll never miss it again.
Wow, that's great. You're right. We often have that experience and that kind of feedback. So you are right about that. Thank you so much again.
When will you start working on The Little Mermaid?
May.
Okay.
We have.
So they put it together pretty quickly then. That's great.
Yeah, we rehearse once a week for an hour and a half to 2 hours for 8 weeks. Mm-hmm.
I said one of the great things was, and I mentioned it, you almost wish there was a fee to get in, but it was free. But it was also within my attention span. It was about 50-some minutes, just as you told me when you were on the show. It was, but everything was there. There was nothing missing.
Yeah. And it was a great new space for us, too, Lackawanna College. Yes, we were so appreciative of North Pocono because they donated the space every year with, complete with maintenance and everything, and they were wonderful about that. But we needed to get it down into the Scranton area so more of the community could enjoy it.
Yeah, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
And they did.
ARC is amazing, and thank you for the work you do for them. And I saw all the other people from ARC who participated and were, encouraging the kids during the show. It was just fabulous. And it was funny. I said so many of them remembered from being in the studio.
Yeah. They came up to you?
Yeah. There were so many of them remembered, and I was beyond heartened with that. But Jerry, you did a great job.
Maybe we can get you on stage next year.
No. I'll because I almost didn't make it because my stupid dog ran out of the front door to go get a treat from my next door neighbor. and the door, I had to chase him, and the door locked behind us. So I was outside I was locked outside of my house for an hour and a half, and so I barely made it.
Wow. Was the dog in the car?
No, the idiot ran out of the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, that's funny.
It was great,
well,
and I thank you and everybody from ARC for putting that on, making such a beautiful, and man, tribute to the parents and families of those great young adults who did this show. Astonishing.
Thanks again.
All right. Jerry Featherby, she was one of the architects of the Archangels on stage last night, and we look forward to next year already.
Yeah, we have a great creative team.
Amazing. Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks again.
All right.
Take it easy.
We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return after this. We're back. Mother's Little Helper, Murph tells us on this date, 1966, the Rolling Stones released their album Aftermath in the U.S. And everybody remembers the name Lizzie Borden. But I forgot she was acquitted of the murders of her family. That was 1893. The jury in New Bedford, Mass. Found Lizzie Borden not guilty of the axe murders of her father and mother. And as usual in the American character, jokes and songs were made of the Lizzie Borden thing. So the troll, continuing, he says, for the record, I'm not a troll. I'm just a news junkie in Northeast Pennsylvania who's sick of hearing you cheer on the dismantling of our country's system of checks and balances of power. So just so your side wins. Again, what does the left do? They say the opposite of that, which is true. And they say the opposite of what if they accuse you of it, that's what they tried to do. Who tried to limit free speech? The Biden administration. The Democrats, along with their establishment friends. Checks and balances. Who ignored the Supreme Court? Joe Biden ignored the Supreme Court. AOC called on him to ignore the Supreme Court. And then Biden actually went and did it. On student loans alone, there were more issues because he didn't agree with it. Oh, yeah, and then they incited the left-wing loons to try to kill Supreme Court justices. No, they're talking about jobs being created. The same troll. He's forgetting that 880,000 jobs they claim to have created didn't exist. 880,000. You can't make it up. And then they're trying to say 16.6 million were created during the Biden administration. No, people returned to work after COVID. You can't make, there's just no sense in this. Pointing out that, the troll pointing out that the defense plants around here got a lot of extra work because Joe Biden's weakness caused Russia to attack Ukraine. He refused a settlement 1 month after the fighting started, which was the settlement offer was created by, of all people, the Turkish President Erdogan. All that we had to do was acknowledge Crimea as Russian, which it is, and it's a fact you can't change, and not allow and state that we would not allow Ukraine to become part of NATO. That war could have been over. All those millions of lives, all those billions and billions of dollars worth of destruction would have been saved. Biden blew it. And the Middle East, we funded, by ending the Trump embargo on Iranian oil and releasing over $16 billion, Joe Biden, to the Iranians. We funded the attack on Israel, the attacks by the Houthis on international shipping, the hundreds and hundreds of attacks on American troops and sailors in the Middle East. I mean, you're insane. You're absolutely insane. And now I'm done with you because Trump hadn't obeyed a single Supreme Court order since taking oath. Wow. The breathtaking ignorance, intentional, willful ignorance of the Biden supporters. Oh, and you're overlooking the fact that Joe Biden entered office brain damaged by age. You're forgetting that. You're forgetting the Biden pardons of his family members. It's just you can't even have a discussion with these people. And it usually turns out to be a waste of time. However, it's worth repeating that they failed at everything. Everything. And hatred of Trump, dislike of Trump or whatever, doesn't substitute for common sense. And I went through a list, but apparently you didn't listen. Blathering idiot. Okay, 40 plus years in public service. What does that mean? He was on the teat for 40 years. And he should have been convicted. He was protected by the establishment. He sold this country out as vice president. He sold it for money for his family. Up to $50 million to his family for nothing. They didn't do anything. They didn't provide any work. They had no ability. And that doesn't even count Hunter's paintings. Wow. It's breathtaking, willful ignorance because you're actually stringing words together. So you're not, you don't have some sort of, well, you're not completely, you're stupid, but you choose to be. Big Cat says, don't forget the auto pen. Who was running the country? I know. It's unreal. I went through the list. Gender-affirming care. That big lie. Destructive lie. The open border and the fentanyl deaths, the deaths of American citizens from criminals, we are yet to experience the terrorism from the people we let in under the Biden administration. That open borders policy. And it goes on. And I'm past time. That's why I say you don't have time for someone who wants to be stupid. We don't have time for it. And I hate to say it, we don't have time. But we don't. By the way, every time she tries to get out, they bring her back in. It's Paula Degnan with the news, and we'll be back. Great good morning, everyone. 11:14 a.m. here in the great Northeast. That is Bacardo Jewelers, your Breitling watch store. That's their time. It's the year 2025. It's Friday, June 20th. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and the great properties of the Basiliga Hospitality Company, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but whom we get to celebrate and honor today. Like Harry Cook, Scranton, Vincent Narkunis, Troop, Dominic Amendola, Hanover Township, Edward Crawford, Hanover Township, Joseph LaMonica, Danville, and John Greising, Bloomsburg. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you a sanctuary of sanity from the insanity of people like our most intrepid troll today. They just keep going with the nonsense. But someone texted in this, which covers it. ALTS, he says, one fool can ask more questions than 1,000 wise men can answer. Yeah. You know it, baby. All right, so yesterday there was a press conference, and we've been talking about Doug Long with his great fight cards. Well, pro boxing returns to Dunmore July 26th, and they had this press conference at Dunmore Lumber yesterday, and my nephew, Rocco Cordaro, who has fought a bunch of pro fights in Columbia. We've talked to him about that. We'll maybe touch on that again today. Is on this card, July 26th. So I am over the moon about it. And here he is, my nephew, Rocco Cordaro. Rocco, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, Uncle Bobby. How are you?
I'm great. Hey, how the press conference really came off well yesterday, didn't it?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, it was a good turnout.
Well,
to say the least.
My idiot dog got me locked out of the house, so I didn't make it. But that's another story. I was going to walk down. I had no car because I was getting it detailed by Billy Gentile. And so they had the car. Well, I said, okay, I could walk or run down there. And then idiot locked me out. So that scotched it.
That's hilarious.
All right.
Funny.
So, Rocco,
tell
me about how many fights have you had in Columbia?
So I have 5 so far. So
all right.
5-0, yeah.
5 pro fights. Has any of them lasted past the first round?
Yeah, the last one, actually, I went the distance. I won 4 rounds in my last fight.
Oh, really?
He had like 40-some fights. It was a good he had a lot of experience, so that was like really good for me to get my experience myself.
Now, that is one of the things that people think about and that you need to think about, obviously, is can you go the distance? Do you husband your resources? Do you not let it all hang out and then be exhausted? That wasn't a problem for you in the fight?
So, I definitely started really fast, and I was kind of emptying my load because I had him hurt, like, multiple times. But, I cruised pretty well. But in the 4th round, I started feeling a little bit. But, yeah, like I said, I was fine. Like, I didn't get too tired. It's just, like, you start feeling it, obviously, because you're stepping on the gas the whole time, and for 4 rounds, that's a lot, you know, if you're really trying to get them out of there.
A bunch of listeners asking about the card. It is in Dunmore's Professional Boxing at the Holiday Inn on July 26th. The Holiday Inn in Dunmore, right on Tige Street. Rocco will be headlining the fight. Now, they haven't picked an opponent for you yet, though, have they?
No, I didn't get an opponent yet. They're working on that now. So within the next coming weeks, we'll definitely have someone. Sooner than later, for sure.
Who else is on the card? I think some people that Doug Long has had for a number of previous fights, right?
Yeah, so you have there's Nelson Morales, who I used to train with all the time. Same with Anthony Muda. You got Mark Majuri. You got, and then the co-main event is Joseph Adorno, who he's like a really seasoned pro. He's really good. He's fought on all like the really big shows too. So yeah, it's an honor for them to be underneath.
All right, so you stay. You've been fighting fairly frequently since you found this sort of Colombian connection. We can call it that. And you've been able to fight fairly frequently, but do you you make a real effort to stay almost in fighting condition between fights, right?
Yeah, like the big thing is just like just staying ready, because when you go into camp, the last thing you want to do is have to worry about cutting a bunch of weight or having to like basically get in shape for a fight when you should already be in the shape, and just kind of just focus on what you got to do that night instead of worrying about like, oh, I got to cut all this weight, I got to get in shape, I got to do this, I got to do that. At least you're like already atop of that, which makes it a lot easier to be able to focus on what you got to get done on the night. And gives you a lot more time to prep.
We're talking with Rocco Cordaro, who's going to have his professional debut here in Northeast Pennsylvania, the Northeast Pennsylvania edition of his professional debut. He's 5-0 as a pro on that July 26th card at the Holiday Inn, Tige Street, Dunmore. So, Rocco, you do, though. See, you've got a big frame for the weight you fight at. So you do have weight to lose, and there's not much on you to get rid of.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a weight to cut for every fight, but it's not really too bad because I don't know, I'm just kind of getting used to it now. It's just like you just have to pull certain things out, like the week of the fight, like you just don't need any car. Like there's just little tricks you could do, and the weight will kind of just fly off you.
Yeah, you'll have to pass those on to me pass those tricks on to me at some point, would you?
I don't know what you're talking about, Uncle Bob. You look like $1 million. Come on now.
So Rocco, you're what do you weigh now, and what will you have to weigh for fight night?
So I would say I'm probably around like 162, 165. I didn't check this morning, but I try not to put too much in my head about that because I still got a ways to go. But I just have to make 154. So 8 pounds and 10 pounds might seem like a lot, but it's not too bad when you do it the right way. So it'll be easy for me.
You're 6 foot or even a shade over, and you've got a big frame. It isn't. I mean, it's like wrestlers go through, but. Will it weaken you, or have you found the formula to not have the weight loss weaken you?
Well, no, because the cool thing about the pros is, like, you get the night before you weigh in. So, like, after I'm done weighing in, I can get all the proper, like, hydration and everything. And I'm usually not too depleted, too. I don't know. It's weird. Like, the weight comes off me pretty easily. Even in amateurs, like, I would fight at 52, 54. So, like, I'm kind of just used to getting there. So, yeah, it's not too bad. Well,
we're gonna make sure we talk to you leading up to the fight, so we get sort of more of the inside on your training and all that kind of thing. But I'm excited for July 26th at the Holiday Inn. It's going to be a great fight card, and our guy always puts a great card on. He really does.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it's going to be exciting, and everyone that comes out and supports, I really appreciate everyone, and you guys will have a really good night of fights.
What you don't have the Rocky steps in Philly to run up. What steps are you going to run up during your training?
Well, so that's the crazy thing. Compared to here, though, like, all joking aside, like in Florida, everything's pretty much flat. So the cool thing is you don't have to go too far for hills. So we'll find some steps somewhere.
Rocco Cordaro headlining the Doug Long Pro Boxing card at the Holiday Inn in Dunmore on July 26th. Very exciting. Look forward to it, and we'll talk to you again. Okay, Rock?
All right. Thanks for having me on, Uncle Bob. Have a good day.
All right, man. We're going to have fun with that. By the way, I think we got somebody calling in, but just in case, Murph reminding me, the Bucktown Music Fest is this Sunday starting at 5 o'clock. We the Living will kick it off. Black Tie Stereo following up, and we'll see. Our guy, Tommy Hallinan, Councilman Tommy Hallinan, he's golfing. He had an alternate to call in. They may still call in. We'll see what happens. But we'll talk about the Bucktown Music Fest, which is a great pleasure, and the weather's going to be great for it. We can almost promise that for Sunday night in Dunmore Corners. We'll take a break, though. Bob Cordaro, WILK, the Picardo Jewelers, your Oris Watch Store time is 11:25. We'll be back. Not to come. I told man not to come. Oh, Murph tells us the great Three-Dog Night. This date, 1970. Moved from number 19 to number 4 with their hit, Mama Told Me Not to Come. And, yeah, the trailer for Jaws. How good was the trailer for Jaws? HVAC dude says this. He nails it. Jaws is a cinematic masterpiece. And you remember right after the Indianapolis speech we played at the by Quint, provided by Mark Mayer, that we played right after the news and weather at the top of the hour, Jaws came, and he rammed the boat. I mean, it's just unbelievable. You think of that and Godfather 2 in particular, but Godfather 1 also. I mean, just movie perfection. Movie perfection. But here's an HVAC dude took it another way. Many of you texted in, and I'm with you. Scared witless of a shark in the water. Now, I still love the ocean. Cutie will not go in. She won't get in above her ankles. Maybe it's her knees at best. But HVAC dude took it the other way. He goes, he absolutely loves sharks since he's a kid. He swam with sharks on multiple occasions. His favorite was on the north shore of Oahu, Hawaii. Nautical miles offshore in a cage. Tigers and Galapagos are in that area. I'm guessing that's kind of shark. Tiger sharks, Galapagos. I never heard of Galapagos sharks. Neat. Joe Trips Park says, the Jaws trailer is so good, I'm on dry land. I still looked over my shoulder after hearing it. And I don't remember because it was certainly cocktail infused. I've always wanted to go in the ocean when it's dark, like pitch dark. And I think I did it. I just don't recall distinctly. But you're scared from Jaws. Amazing. A movie in 75. And I've told you before, my parents took us up to New England for some reason that summer, like a family vacation, driving around New England. Nobody was in the water 1975 when Jaws came on. And I mean nobody. Amazing stuff. Yeah, just great movie making. And, you know, thank God we have people like Steven Spielberg who can capture that magic. All right. Well, Bigardo Jewelers, your Longines watch store, says that the time is 11:32. We'll take a break. We're coming back. We got some calls we want to get to. And then we'll talk to you and do the rest. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. our veterans this hour and every hour. This day and every day. Brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. And you want a brand name, there it is. And it's part of Basiliga Hospitality, so you know it's all top quality. Doesn't matter if it's the Old Brook Inn in Springbrook Township, Far Street Tavern, and the great Trips Park section of West Scranton, the Scranton Art House on Lackawanna Avenue, downtown Scranton, our own little Times Square. A Terra 519 that Cutie and I got to go to last night on Linden Street, Scranton. Sergei's Live, the nightclub, right underneath, lower level of the same building. Queen City Tavern, reimagined, better than ever, downtown Oliphant. And the Stegmeyer Mansion takes you to Newport, Rhode Island for dinner. Joseph LaMonica, Army vet, award-winning safety CDL driver. He was 78 when we lost him May 10th. He was from Danville. Born in Reading, proud United States Army veteran. 1997, he married the former Sandra Wolfgang in the home they shared and where they resided for the past 30 years. He was a truck driver, owner-operator, and throughout his career, he had earned numerous awards for safe CDL driving. He loved children, including and especially his grandchildren. He was a natural entertainer. He loved making people laugh. Woodworking and helping people in need, that's what he did. Joseph LaMonica is survived by his wife, Sandra, of Danville, his daughter, 2 sons, 7 grandsons, a great-grandson, and a stepson, and many other family members. Joseph LaMonica. John Greasing. It might be Greising. Army veteran. He was just 65 when he passed away, March 4th. Born in Bloomsburg, graduated from Columbia Montour Votech, and then joined the United States Army, serving us from 1977 to 1980. He was a diesel mechanic for many years. Loved to tinker with motorcycles. Survived by 3 children, 3 grandchildren, brothers, sisters, and many other family members. And he mentioned in his obit his best friend, Lenny of Bloomsburg, John Greising. Our great veterans this hour, brought to you by Basiliga Hospitality. Try one of their joints this weekend. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Anthony Bordanero. Today, partly cloudy, 82. Tonight, clouds, low 64. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 88. Sunday, mostly sunny, high 93. Monday, that's for the Bucktown Music Fest. Monday, sunny, high 96. Do you notice the word I did not use in the midst of that? I didn't mention the word rain. How about that? George Harrison, this date, 1981, was moving up the charts to number 4, Murph says, with his hit all those years ago. Bob Cordaro back on the eponymous program, and they're still texting about Jaws. I love it. Slick says, Bob LTS, I still remember family vacation in Wildwood during the release of Jaws. Me and my cousin went to see it while at the beach. She was 14 at the time and would not let go of her dad's arm while on land. I know. It was that good. It really was. Well, Music Fest. That is Sunday. Dunmore Corners, 5 o'clock. Great bands coming. And Dunmore Councilman Trip O'Malley is here to tell us a little more about it. Trip, welcome to the Bob Cordaro Show. How are you, my man?
Hey, Bob. How you doing, my friend?
All's well. All's well. Hey, looks like we had an abbreviated first weekend because of the rain. But the pros, Sal Scarmali and his gang did a great job anyway, Daddy-O and the Sax Maniacs. But you've got another show, and it is not going to rain, and it's going to be nice and warm.
Oh, it's great. So glad Mother Nature's going to cooperate.
Tell us, who do you got on tap this week?
Okay, so this Sunday, June 22nd, the Bucktown Music Fest, the opener is going to be We the Living, featuring Pat Salvage, who's a Dunmorian.
Mm-hmm.
They're at 5 o'clock. And then Black Tie Stereo is going to headline after We the Living. And they have a huge following, great band. So we hope everybody can come out to Dunmore Corners and see these great acts. And there's many more coming throughout the summer.
And this is a great event. And the bars are open, and people bring their kids, and they bring their lawn chairs, and they watch this thing, and people dance. It really is a great event. And by the way, it's one of the few times that the people from Dunmore are actually friendly to people from out of town.
Yeah, we'll let anybody in for Bucktown Music Fest.
I noticed that. I mean, you have these people, out-of-towners from Oliphant come down, and everybody loves them.
They're all good. Everybody's a Dunmorian at Buckfest, or Bucktown Music Fest.
Great stuff. I'll tell you, I want to thank you and Tommy Hallinan and the whole committee, because this is a great family event for all of Northeast Pennsylvania. It really is.
Oh, it's excellent. And Brian McGurl and Carmela Mataloni, along with Tom Hallinan and myself, we make up and Posey Lavelle, how could I forget her? We're the committee for Bucktown Music Fest.
Good stuff. Great stuff, actually. So this Sunday starts at 5. That's just when it'll be cooling down a little bit from that day's heat. There will be no rain. So conditions are perfect for Bucktown Music Fest this Sunday. The bands are great, and you guys put it together so well.
Thanks. And I also, before I get going, I want to wish your nephew Rocco Cordaro the best of luck in his upcoming professional boxing match at the Holiday Inn in Dunmore on Saturday, July 26th.
Yeah, also in Dunmore.
Yep, and Nelson Morales, who is a former Dunmore police officer, he's on the card as well.
Really? Okay. I did not know he was one of our cops. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's going to be a great night in Dunmore. It's going to be a great summer in Dunmore.
Great. Dunmore Councilman Trip O'Malley, thank you for checking in and reminding us about the details of this great Bucktown Music Fest Sunday. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob. Take care.
All right, my man. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We've got some calls from Sawyersville, from Edwardsville. We're ready to go with them after these messages. thanks to Frank and Gerard Mayer. Frank's on a bar stool in Papua New Guinea, 2:45 in the morning there, and Port Moresby. And, of course, Gerard's right here in northeast Pennsylvania, so it's 12:45 here. Just so you guys know, we used to do the show 12 to 3, replacing Rush Limbaugh. I begged them to put me in this time slot, and we said we can't get rid of Frank, so we'll have a second edition of that great saloon song by our guy, Gerard Mayer, and that's how we do it. Let us go to Joe from Edwardsville real quick because he's talking about Jaws. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing great, Bob. I hope you are as well.
Yes.
The thing that is crazy about Jaws, and nobody ever talks about when the story comes up, is that if everything had gone to plan, that would have been an entirely different movie from what we saw. In classic liberal, law of unintended consequences fashion, they built that shark somewhere out on the West Coast. I think it was Caltech, bunch of genius engineers and whatnot. An electronic shark. They made it in a freshwater pool, and it was brilliant. Once they shipped it to the East Coast, they dropped that thing into the salt water off of Martha's Vineyard. It popped, fizzled, and died. So he had to make a bunch of that movie. He was way paid. He was like over the deadline for making the movie. And they still didn't have a shark. So a lot of it with the built suspense and very Hitchcock-esque really helped it out. He had to get a bunch of new engineers in there, and they rebuilt the thing with pneumatics.
Cool stuff.
So it's when you think about, how much you don't see that shark in a lot of that movie. That first scene with the girl, the guys on the dock when it eats it, you don't see it, and that's what really I think made Spielberg's name and what made him the genius he is today.
Love it. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. Bloomberg Money Minute. Big Ed from Chickasha says his family loves the ocean. They're all water babies. That's because you're Big Ed. That's why. We'll be back. This date, 1988, Murph tells us Guns N' Roses released their hit, Sweet Child of Mine, to radio stations across the country. Bob Cordaro back with you as we get ready to conclude, but we're not done yet because my man Greg from Sawyerville has been very patient to talk about Saturday's No Kings protest or whatever the hell you want to call that stupidity. How are you, Greg?
Good, Bob. I was with T.J. Fitzgerald, NEPA Republicans at the Square with the No Kings.
Nice.
Let me tell you what, there was 350 of them. They hate our guts. They had their kids giving us the finger. I looked across the street for a half an hour. There was this one girl. She was about 5, and she had both fingers. She wouldn't stop. And so they're training their kids. And you know what? They're going to recapture the White House if we don't come out and vote because there's another election. And there's
these are scary, stupid people. They're scary, stupid. The things they believe, the things they will swallow, the lies that they will swallow and ignore are it's scary.
Vicious people, Bob. And we got T.J. Fitzgerald's NEPA rally the June 25th, 6 p.m. Wilkes-Barre Township Fire Hall, and we're going to have our Republican candidates there, and we got to get the people fired up because our people are happy and content, placid, because they think they got Trump in there. All's good with the world forever, and it's the next election's going to determine our freedoms. And
I agree.
TJ
and Greg, that's why we play. The battle is over, but the war goes on. They're not going away. They want to control and dominate other people's lives. That's what they want to do.
People. Yeah.
Yep.
They're going to have control of the IRS, the Justice Department. They'll have us in re-education camps. Listen, those 350 people at the Square, they are vicious. They hate our guts. Listen, we were just waving at them. We had our Trump signs. There was only about 10 of us, but we're manning the wall. And, let everybody know about the Wilkes-Barre Township Fire Hall, June 25th. We need them there at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for your patience, too, my man.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Keep fighting. We love it.
We will. We will, buddy.
All right. Bye. The country's on the line. By the way, we're finishing with Joe Cocker because this date, 1970, moved up to number 8 with his version of the Box Tops hit, The Letter, and what a great version it was. So as I see the time, it's the Picardo Jewelers, your Breitling watch store time, 11:57. That means we got to wrap things up here. I didn't even get to Iran and Israel today. That war, well, the consequences they're happening to Israel. 1,200 injured, dozens killed. It is not a bloodless conflict on either end. But Iran's sick, twisted mullah leadership has got to be put down, guys. I'm not a warmonger by any means. It's just, it's what has to happen. Sorry, but it does. Well, we finish each Friday we can, with 2 different things. Policeman's prayer being number 1, because that thin blue line will be out for you this weekend. Don't forget about your cops. Thank them if you see them. Well, by the way, don't forget about your firemen and first responders either, but policeman's prayer given to me by my man, Nicky DeSando. Lord, bless the ones who wear the badge, the ones who walk the beat, protect and keep them safe while they are on the street. As they wait and as they watch, doing good for all, guide their minds and give them strength for each and every call. Ready to put their lives on the line, give them courage each day. Let them know you're always there in each and every way. So bless the ones who wear the badge, protect them from harm, always keep them safe and in your loving arms. And then, as we love to conclude with, Tomorrow Never Comes by Norma Cornett Merrick. Found this in a lovely lady by the name of Doreen Goriab's obit. If I knew it would be the last time that I'd see you walk out the door, I would give you a hug and a kiss and call you back for just one more. If I knew it would be the last time, I would spare an extra minute or two to stop and say I love you instead of assuming you know I do. So just in case tomorrow never comes and today is all I get, I'd like to say how much I love you and hope you will never forget. Tomorrow's not promised to anyone, young or old alike. And today may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, why not do it today? For if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take that extra time for a smile, a hug, or a kiss, and you were too busy to grant someone what turned out to be their final wish. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear that you love them very much and you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today. Club for Common Sense adjourned. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank a cop and reach out to somebody you haven't talked to in a while.